was the end of the demo. Oh, save game. 5 years had passed since that day. Day his life completely changed and his search started. He wasn't looking for anything special. He's something ordinary, yet essential. A life. That was all. A life he could be proud of. One that could be remembered on his last moments, without any regrets. No, not even that. He didn't mind having some regrets. He was ready to make some mistakes, as long as they were minor. There was no specific dream, no exact goal to reach, only a simple wish of happiness like anyone would. That was part of his wish. The part where he differed from everyone else, and ironically, was his yearning to be a part of society. One of many, nobody special. Almost desire individuality, he searched for simple peace to reside in, a normal life. That didn't mean he had no ambitions. He wasn't looking for mediocrity, but he simply didn't need anything special. But he had laughed at him because of that, or had tried to change his mind. However, even though his dream was simple, ordinary, basic with nothing special, and boring, his willpower to reach it had been clear and stronger than anybody would have anticipated, not even himself. It had been 5 years since he had started living alone, still a teenager. He still had a long way ahead. In many ways, nothing had changed in his last 4 years, unlike 6 years before, when his life had changed completely. His life had slowly improved, and he got used to his new independent life. Until... Oh? Now he was there at that bar. Was is los? You can access profiles. Trying to calm down, Bill breathed deeply. Oh, map. Okay, I see how this is meant to work. Oh, this is cool. Roll beverage. Thought there's been stubbornness. Time will show if that's enough. It is very worrying. She's delightful, but very worrying. Coffee. Standing around the counter away from us. If you're distrustful, if that leads to her playing, I'll talk to her. We need to build trust and unity to cooperate and escape. This is interesting. We'll go through more of those then. Seen this. This is inaccessible. Councils last 15 minutes. More debates. Oh wow, blank votes will add to the most voted name. Oh. So, abstaining from a vote throws the weight behind the player who started the vote, which could be a powerful tool. So, one accusal permitted per number per player, but in theory there could be more than one accusal per council. We can't openly contact people. Link allows a special lines between two players if their rule numbers add to 10. Wake up. Spy mode. Use of spy mode is not allowed. Spy mode is here. It has to be broken mainly within the barman before the 1 hour limit. One of the two players needs to break it without confirmation from the other. Messaging is only allowed when responding to a received message. Oh, okay. Requiring a coherent response in less than 10 minutes. Being sent unless a council's underway. So you can't leave people on red unless you are the holder of rule number 8. No objectives are distributed on the first hour. A secret objective without the need of evidence will count as an Interesting. Bill breathed deeply. In an instant, his life had changed completely, losing everything he had been taking years to build up. He had managed to get out of the small world that had trapped him for almost all his life, to now having his life trapped again in that bar, the Golden Jack, a world even smaller, emptier, almost bare of life. He had to escape that prison and recover his life, but as he wasn't planning on doing it as his jailer intended. Some could see it as making an already difficult situation even worse. However, from his point of view, it was the only valid option. If he wanted to get back the life that had been taken from him, he had to keep his hands clean of blood. He wasn't particularly religious, so it wasn't about not tainting his soul with sin, not even about avoiding jail. There was a much bigger, more important reason. He was simply incapable of killing. Before anything else, I propose we all investigate this place. Agreed. For now, let's just have a truce. Exactly. We need to act. But be careful, everyone. Got it. Nobody said anything else, simply leaving it in different directions. It wasn't fully clear if they had accepted the truce, though thankfully only one of them had the power to break it. Most of them left pretty quickly, leaving only a handful on the counter. Nobody paying attention to him, Bill decided it was finally time to act. It didn't take long to find what he was looking for. Whoa. The exit. Or technically speaking, the entrance. In front of it, on the floor, lay a welcome sign. Not very welcoming in their case, though. Welcome to the Golden Jack. A space that appeared separate from the rest of the bar, walled off by blameless plants that made looking inside for the sides a difficult task. So he must remain inside the Golden Jack. That rule existed, it could only mean one thing. He stretched his arm, grabbed the handle, and slightly pulled it. The door really wasn't closed. The only thing that stopped them from opening it, leaving, was that rule. He gulped. His much desired escape was within one hand rotation. But then what? Considering that someone with the ability to leave existed, it was a reasonable assumption that what lay beyond wasn't freedom. Not even number 2 could really escape the game. There was a big problem, an obstacle that anchored them to that game. Your bodies have been poisoned. It's a slow poison. If you win the game, you will receive the antidote. Weren't sure if it was true, but that wasn't a threat they could ignore. As time passed, the likelihood of everything being fake was getting smaller. at least to him. There were only two realistic possibilities. If everything was real, a very cruel hidden camera TV program. While he wanted to believe it was the second case, it was hard to believe a TV program with such a twisted sense of humor existed. Kidnapping random people with no permission was unthinkable. It was clearly illegal, even if the poison was fake and even if every security measure was in place to prevent deaths. If it was all true, the captor had managed to prepare everything, obtaining the poison from everybody. Wouldn't be hard in comparison. Slowly, he opened the door and closed it almost immediately, making a step back. He had taken a look at the outside, and what he had seen was, without question, a corridor. In other words, as it was to be expected, the bar's exit didn't lead to the outside. That bar was inside some building. To get outside, even after breaking the rule that forbade leaving, a chance existed to get to a hospital. Could save them from the poison. However, without knowing his own number, going out, hoping he had the second rule, was too big a risk. Broke the rule, there would be a 1 hour max for the poison to take effect. That time, maybe he could find the antidote, the exit to the building. But anyone would know that it was impossible for one person that didn't know what or who was on the other side. Or taking such a risk, it was best to make sure of a few things, gather some help. Finding a way to contact the outside or a straightforward way out with no danger would be ideal. After a few moments, a decision was made. 2 hours. If an alternative wasn't found that time, he would go through that door. There wasn't any reason for it to be 2 hours. It was a personal, self-imposed time limit. If by then he hadn't had any luck, he probably wouldn't get some by waiting any longer. In fact, maybe 1 hour was enough to check his chances there. Especially considering that the worst-case scenario could happen at any moment. Being there any longer, that was dangerous for him and everyone else. The star means stock music. This is a neat feature. Now I should investigate a little and talk to the others. Where to go first? It seems more fitting. We're at the entrance. Clearly, we should go take a leak first. I wasn't expecting to find much, but he thought that he might as well check the bathroom. He's the one you could enter without feeling bad. The other one would have to be taken care of by the women. While he was at it, just when he was about to enter, the old man with the alias vodka came out. Both of them reacted in time, stopping. Oh, we almost ran into each other, young man. Excuse me, I'll be more careful. Did you look into it? What? The restroom? When you reach my age, this becomes sacred grounds. One day you'll understand, young one. That's assuming we get out of here, of course. Don't give me that face. I was born pessimistic. It's only gotten worse with time. Thankfully, this doesn't seem like it will last for more than a day, so you'll know our fate soon enough. It also means you won't have any food issues. Now that would be hell, let me tell you. I still don't have a plan, but I will look for a way out, without losing lives. Idealist, I see. That's the spark of youth. Good for you. Certainly a happy ending would be ideal, but if we do end up having to play this ghoulish game, only 3 can survive. Well, I think we can all agree in one thing. Those who have more life ahead of them should have priority when it comes to surviving. Bogner was right, but that didn't change that it was hard to hear. He didn't know how old he could be. Even if it was more than 80 years old, it still wouldn't be very pleasant to hear him imply he would be a sacrifice. Here comes the face again. Should you really be worrying so much about me? I'm just some old fart. Surely the only reason I'm here is because I am an easy target. No. That small scream caught vodka off guard. It also surprised Bill himself. Age doesn't take away a life's value. Killing's off the table, but we can't be killed either. I'm not looking for my death either. If I would have already screamed my number aloud. I simply don't have the energy nor motivation to play this game seriously. Moreover, if number one came to me armed, I wouldn't have the strength to protect myself. In that case, I'll protect you. Yeah? I don't think you'd make for a very good bodyguard, to be honest. I won't stop you if you keep insisting that taking care of me like a nanny. But I insist it's not necessary. I understand that you would feel bad if anybody died. It's obvious that it's not pretty to see a body. Even worse, smell it. But I can take care of my own. That's not what you said earlier. You fancy yourself a lawyer now? Looking for contradictions? Do whatever you want to do, as long as you don't let me be a weight on your shoulders. If you died protecting me, that wouldn't make me very happy either, see? Understood. Very good. I appreciate the enthusiasm, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a priority. Hopefully we'll find a way to survive, and this game will be all water under the bridge. Yeah, I'll search here. Maybe there's something that can help us. Like what? The poison is the reason we're trapped here, but the antidotes must be somewhere. We find the way to get to them. I suppose, yes. And I won't be in the restroom, though. Probably not, but maybe there's a secret passageway that leads to the antidotes or outside. Or to the Mastermind's hideout, for instance. Even if we have the poison, we can get to a hospital in time. We can be saved. He was clearly improvising. He needed to convince himself. There was hope. I want to be the party pooper, but after doing my business, I did do a quick check for anything interesting, and came out empty-handed. No secret door to the outside to speak of, sorry to say. Unless I just missed it. So be my guest. Try your luck with that optimism of yours. If there was a secret door, it would be well hidden, so maybe by searching thoroughly. There it is. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Vodka left. Bill proceeded with his search. No secret door appeared, nor anything of value. There were still places left to check. His next destination would be... The date's working, but I don't think the time is. Of this file, sure. Slight break between recording. His next destination would be... I went to the loo. Okay, so it pretty much crossed off. Sofas, who's here? He decided to make his way to the area with a large fish tank. In addition to the tank, there were tables and sofas, and among them a person. Oh, Coffee! The young woman known as Coffee, who wasn't deaf. She was investigating alone, to no surprise from him, even barely after meeting her for the first time. One needn't be a private detective to clue into the likely fact that she wasn't the most sociable person there. Being trapped there with people she didn't know wouldn't help, and yet... It's because things are the way they are that we should help each other out. We can't get through this all alone. He had earned everyone's trust, and of course he was willing to trust them in return. But it couldn't be blind faith. They had to talk, know each other, and understand each other. Stand together as victims of the same crime. Unfortunately, getting to a mutual understanding with others had never been his forte, so he had to give it his all to make it happen. And that young woman, Coffee, could potentially be one of the biggest obstacles on the way there, one he had to overcome to succeed in the joint alliance he wanted. What should I say to her? How should I act? Casual? Serious? Last time went awful. I guess a different approach would make the most sense, but... Now, to make her open up to us, I have to prove to her I don't have any bad intentions. I need to be friendly. It's the most natural way. Acting differently now would make me look suspicious. Just be you. Am I overthinking it? Yes. It's not like I'm trying to flirt with her. I'm not even looking for a friendship, just cooperation. Mutual cooperation. Realizing he had to stop, he gave himself a small whack to the head. He didn't have enough time to waste deep in thought. In only a few hours, the danger would turn unavoidably lethal. It was time to act. I kind of like this, not so socially up and up guy second-guessing himself. Try being the protagonist. He approached her with determination while she kept looking around the place, seemingly completely oblivious to his presence, even after having stood there for a couple of minutes, and... coffee. She looked at him for a moment, once again confirming she wasn't deaf, and with no response went back to what she was doing. Did I screw up again? So fast? What did I do wrong? She doesn't have anything against me, does she? No, it made sense. In fact, as much as he didn't want to admit it, behaving otherwise was the strange way to act. Each person had a different reaction to a stress situation like that one, but some seemed to have gotten too comfortable too quickly. Perhaps even himself. In fact, maybe he was the one acting the strangest. Her decision to only talk when necessary and keep everyone away was probably the safest and most logical approach. And at the same time, it was slightly worrying. Isolation could put her in danger. Slightly concerned, he went up to her. Hey, want me to help? No. For an instant, he smiled just from getting an answer. But the smile disappeared as soon as he understood the response. I understand that you don't trust me, but we should help each other. Just out to survive. No. The others could see you as suspicious if you keep your distance from too much, and, So what? Her words caught Bill by surprise, leaving his mind blank for a moment. Well, you know, that could be dangerous. I can take care of my own. Go somewhere else. Total rejection. Her straightforward answers left no room for comebacks. Insisting on it would most likely just have the opposite effect. He hadn't expected making a joint alliance was going to be easy, but things were much worse than he'd anticipated. Still, he had no intention of giving up so soon. Even so, he had no intentions of backing down. He had no intention of giving up so soon. Even so, he had no intention of backing down. That's the same thing twice, right? He considered his inability to do so his one and only gift, so he had to make good use of it. That was the time to act. If the group shattered from the start, it would all go from bad to worse. The only thing that could lead to was a tragedy. Well, I guess I just wanted to make it clear that we shouldn't see each other as enemies. We can't let this game influence us. Do you prefer all of us dying together? No, we have to escape together, every one of us. Sure. What is that supposed to mean? I thought she was looking for a way out, but... She's a realist. You aren't going to join this madness, are you? Not silence again. Who knows? No doubt left. He did not know how to deal with that person. At least she hadn't said yes. Could he consider that a partial win? Let's just go for now. And on the fence. I'm placing her on the fence. If we can find a legitimate chance to get through the first hour without anyone having to die, then maybe we can bring her around to our side. Until then, she's out for herself. He had lost the battle, but not the war. He left the area to coffee and went back the way he came. Hello? 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 Oh no. So Coffee rejected us so hard she banished us from existence. Let's go somewhere else. That sucked. Let's go down here. Who's down here? Bill went down the steps to the lower section of the bar, where he had woken up. The area looked like an extension so the bar could have more clients. On the other side, you could see a bigger table than all the others. Between him and it, on one of the smaller tables, were Lime and Gin. Gin. It is Gin this time. I got that so far wrong. I defaulted to Gin, because I've used to be playing Caligula Effect 2 at the Noto Gin. So I just kind of got that right in the middle there. Bill! Oh my! Get your Ushiro over here! Hayaku! What? Her wide smile didn't come off as very trustworthy, yet he didn't sense any ill will from her. What sort of education did your parents give you? No Spanish? That's not... Okay? It was still too soon, too daring, to try unraveling the enigma that was that girl, but her intense vibes were completely different from those he felt from the others. Intense is a word? Was he being too trustful? Perhaps as he couldn't say with complete confidence that no one there would just out of nowhere stab him in the back at any time. When it came to Lime, I don't think she's even thinking about the game. Bill went up to the table and sat down with them. Any luck over here? Did you find out anything? Tables and chairs. Bill, my boy, it's lamentable to say. It's lamentable to say, but we found nothing useful. As wise old man used to say, if you want to be rich, share. Don't go looking for gold. Need to let the gold find you. Oh God, Lime. What? That was unacceptable. What in the world is wrong with these two? I don't know, but I love it. If that wasn't enough, they give us a texting app but don't let us use it. Huh? Where did that come from? You know, the message app thingy these phones have. If we could at least use it, this whole thing would be a tiny bit less awful. Messages are only for us. I highly doubt we can send them to people outside. You sure? Why are you talking in text speak now? No, trust me, I'm very sure. It's explaining the damn thing. Only numbers, aka us. The intriguing bit is that apparently it only shows our numbers, not our names. Only the 8 can send them, right? Not quite. It's the only one that can start chat and continue it. We have to answer if talked to. Then what the Helsinki are they waiting for? Jeez Louise! Don't worry, dear. I'm sure they'll send the marriage proposal soon. Oh my. Anyways, let's leave that aside. Bill, what's your view on things? What things? You know, the situation. Any idea what all this is about? What all this is? To be honest, I'm still pretty lost. Still? If you remain still, you're never not going to be lost, dude. That's not... Wait, huh? No, that's not what I meant. I'm still thinking, but I won't give up until I find the way to solve this. Even if you keep thinking forever, that doesn't mean you're gonna find something. Or what, are you one of those idiots that think that just having hope will save them? Not sure how to respond to that. Yeah, Ginger's right. Ginger? This mess seems pretty damn complex, my dudes. If we want to get out of it, we're gonna need to do some actual galaxy brain planning. But if I don't at least try, we're never gonna get anywhere. Bill, it's not about getting anywhere, but about getting allwhere. Always. Sage advice line. What? Lame, dear. I think you just covered in your slime all dictionaries in existence. What would you know? I think I'll go look somewhere else. Goodbye. Good idea. Same. Bill went back up the stairs to the main section of the bar. Okay, we can safely go back there. Anyways, let's go to the counter. Ah, billiards. Bill headed to the counter. I'm so used to right-clicking to save through the menu. I'm not used to having the save button limited to the text box overlay. Not too far from it was a billiard table, between the entrance and the counter. Maybe it was because of that name he'd been given, but it was the first thing he'd noticed. A game he had never tried. Why was he billiards? It could be that the names were given at random, but some seemed to fit, or so he thought. There really wasn't any rule forbidding them from saying their real names, or forcing them to use those nicknames. Nobody seemed willing to give their name in that situation, but it was quicker to use the nicknames they'd been given than thinking up new ones. While he had no idea of the reason behind his own, he wasn't against it. Bill was a short name, easy to remember, and ordinary. Nothing wrong with it. You care for a drink? Someone addressed him from the counter. The man with the nickname Cocktail had put himself behind it. Before him were the men named Darts and Poker. Poker was drinking, while Darts seemed focused on his barman. He approached them. Right now I'm not... Wait, is drinking here safe? Concern suddenly struck him. They were on some unknown bar, basically having been kidnapped. Could they trust that the drinks weren't dangerous? It could be a trap. They could also negatively affect the poison, which is another concern. I can't say it with total confidence, but I do believe that we can drink without fear. After all, we have already been poisoned as part of this game, supposedly. I don't see a good reason for why they would poison us again, or put any other type of substance. I gotta say, I love this idea for being able to cycle through the generic music until you get a scene where a character's theme kicks in, or red track kicks in. I like that, having a generic jukebox you can cycle through. That's a really cool idea. Exactly. We'll know for sure soon. It also seems to be in good conditions, in my expert opinion. Expert opinion? You're an actual bartender. On the topic of nicknames that fit perfectly, that was probably the best example. They had just been put in that state of affairs, yet Cocktail was serving drinks in the most natural way possible. His ease, his way of talking, his ability to serve drinks, and his expertise. All signs pointed to him being a bartender or something of the sort, and he had no intention of hiding it. Perhaps that was his way of calming down in that situation, to act as if he was working. I believe that we can apply that to this place as a whole. This is not an abandoned bar. This is a, quite well-occupied bar, I would say. One behind all this. Its organizer has to be the owner. Any statements you want to make? Are you, by any chance, accusing me of something? Of working here? No, that would be too obvious, but... if you're as much of an expert as you seem to be, it's possible you might know this bar. I'm afraid not. Shame. After a small pause, he lifted his gaze from the barman and... What's the best place to hide a tree? And immediately went back to his screen. To hide a tree? I see. Well, we won't get bored, that's for sure. Barman, another one. Wait, maybe barman isn't the best way to call you. Could get confusing. Oh, right away. And just cocktail is probably the best option. Cocktail, cocktail! Getting out of his little daze, Cocktail served him another glass. A tree. Darts was implying something that everyone there seemed to have understood. Cocktail wasn't amused at all, but tried to hide it, showing his professionalism. Poker was the other way around, grinning, getting some fun from it. That situation, how could anyone smile? Not just poker, darts also appeared to be getting some enjoyment out of it. How could somebody be playing detective with their life on the line? Couldn't believe it. Maybe it's all a hidden camera prank, right? He must be thinking that. Even though he wanted to believe it. Hoped that it would all go well. He couldn't. He had to assume the worst case scenario and act upon it. Something made him do it. Something. Are you feeling all right? Ah, yeah. Well, no, not really. I was just thinking, though. Oh, I see. Still taking it all in. Well, yeah. Same here. Did y'all check out this thing's secrets? Poker raised his barman. Fortunately, attending this counter has occupied all my time for now, so I wasn't able to... Well, there is something good. This owner isn't completely the worst. Huh? What's good about any of this? The objectives, you know, the thing mentioned in Rule 9. We don't have one in this first hour, so we can chill. You sure about that? We will not have any, but we can't just simply lie back. For starters, we have new data every hour. Ah, that. Yeah, I saw. Now that you mention it, I didn't. Due to Rule 7, they could only unlock one data per hour. He still wasn't quite sure what it meant by data, but the best way to find out was to see one. It appeared to be the main component of this game, making use of that information to deduce the numbers of the other players and to then purge them. He didn't want to take part in it, especially if there was personal information about the others, but it was a way to discover his own number, still unknown to him for some reason. Though, was there really information about them? Data. That on top of the kidnapping. The privacy had been invaded wasn't a big surprise, but hurt nonetheless. With resignation, he opened the data menu. There was nothing more than a numbered list, which could be opened in any order. According to the rules, they could only unlock one data per hour. However, the one in possession of Rule 7 could ignore that limitation. As there was no indication of its contents that could guide him, he decided to start with number 1. Likes black coffee. Something ordinary and harmless, while at the same time disturbing. How did their captor know about their taste in coffee? Instinctively, he took a side glance at the counter, but nobody was drinking coffee at that time, making him immediately feel bad for the checking. Assuming this is true, I don't have any of those 4 rules. Too bitter for his taste. He sighed in relief. Of the 10 possible rules he could possess, 4 were now out of consideration. That means someone else has the Steve Harvey yes kill rule. But that belief didn't last long, as he realized what it meant. Not having Rule 1 meant someone else from the 9 people there had it. Someone with the right to kill. In the case of number 5, it was the wildcard rule, which could be swapped with the dying one. But he wanted to avoid any death, so it wasn't of any interest to him. Not having Rule 7 meant that someone else had access to a large amount of information from the start to freely use. Lastly, 9 meant that he had to take the objective he'd received seriously. There was one piece of good news. The chance of his rule being 2 still existed, so he could get out and look for help. Number 7 could grab all their data straight off. That's a huge advantage. True, very true. Likely the most dangerous player at the start. He put his barman away and got up. Darts is right. Even without an objective, we can't waste any time. He says that, yet he's just sitting here. Yes, but not getting drunk. First things first, and first priority is getting my head cleared. By getting drunk. Right. Oh no, I'm not going to drink that much. Just a bit. Then I would advise you to stop soon. Yes, and I'll go search around some more. Enjoy. He left, heading somewhere else. Still places left to check. His next destination would be... we got one more place to go before visiting coffee, and hopefully not getting soft-locked. We'll move to the area where the piano lay. I keep forgetting. It wasn't too far from the counter, what seemed to be the entrance to the bar. A black wall piano stood out amongst the rest of the furnishings. He didn't know much about instruments, but assumed it was worth a very good amount. Just to the right of it was a small table with 2 armchairs and a few chairs. A bunch of shelves full of books encircled it. And lastly, pressed in the opposite wall was a jukebox. He then noticed 2 people that were also searching through that section of the bar. The kid who had received the name piano had seemingly caught interest in the book collection, while the grown woman, Cigars, seemed to be inspecting the jukebox's musical selection. Any good ones? Yes, but I doubt you know any. Quite aged by now. As expected from a jukebox. Exactly. It's been a while since I last saw one. Must be pretty valuable. And this bar has to be quite old too, right? Not necessarily. But this thing, no doubt. And how about you, Piano? What's in there? Piano had been, up until then, digging through the shelves in silence. Don't see anything special. It's mostly only musical scores. There's also philosophy books and other stuff. Anything you think could be relevant? Ma'am, I'm a child. Supposedly there were hints, information about them and their numbers hidden throughout. But they would have to search every nook and cranny to find them. It was actually possible that someone had found something already, was hiding it. That didn't matter to Bill. Hints were only useful to win the game, and he had no intention of surviving that way. Not sure. There could be information on some of them. There's a lot, though. Finding something won't be easy. Piano, any title catching your attention? Well... Metaphysics sounds important. What's that? Ooh, that's too complicated. Not for your age. Age? I'm young, not stupid. Actually, it's not so much about the age. I wouldn't get it either. Sorry to interrupt, but, you really looking for clues? Well, yeah, we have to find who has the dangerous rules, like 1 and 4. Right, those are dangerous, but killing them isn't the answer. We aren't looking for clues specifically. We know nothing of this place, and there could be something helpful hidden around, or at least something to figure out who put all this together and or where we are. Okay, on that I agree. Oh, what else? Piano didn't seem willing to abandon the search for hints, but also couldn't deny what Bill was saying. Also, the hints seemed to have personal information about us. We'd be invading the other's privacy. That gives me the creeps just thinking about that they could really know things about us. We have to work together to escape this place. Antagonizing each other won't lead to anything good. Though this damn game also allows for allies. Have you looked at the links section? Didn't mean that type of alliance. Yes, I know, but it reminded me of that. 2 players' numbers added up to 10, they could form a link, which allowed them to break their companion's rule. That wasn't the type of bonds that Bill was looking for. Links could only lead to pairs fighting one another. Isn't that very limited? Having to add to 10. I'd say. The ones with 5 and 10 can't do it, so it seems a bit badly designed. That's one thing I don't understand. Isn't 10 about links? And they can't link with anyone. Well, 10 was another restriction. Unions could only be done once. Lasted 1 hour at most. Limitations that that person with the rule didn't have, but couldn't benefit from. Huh. However, it also had the power of the spy mode, a mysterious function that could make up for it. On the other hand, Rule 5 was a whole other story. Let's keep looking. There has to be something. So in a way, utilizing Rule 5 would allow you to disguise your data as someone else's. Okay, fine. If you find a clue, hide it so nobody gets in danger. That's concerning. Sure? Didn't sound very convinced, but pressing it wasn't a good idea. I have my eye on him. Concluded the conversation and left. His investigation had to continue. There's still places left to check. His next destination would be the only one left. I'll see if coffee soft locks us this time. Maybe my short-term memory is shot. Maybe I got a case of the Montclairs, but feels like this conversation has gone slightly differently. This is the time to act. If the group was shattered from the start, it would all go from bad to worse. The only thing this could lead to was a tragedy. Well, I guess. Just want to make it clear that we shouldn't see each other as enemies. We can't let this game influence us. Do you prefer all of us dying together? Okay, maybe... No, we have to escape together, every one of us. Sure. Sure? Okay, I do remember this now. Yep, she's on the fence. Who knows? Let's just go for now. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Really does soft lock me after this, doesn't it? Okay, now it faded out. Oh, eh? Yo, guys! Oh? Some map update? Bill heard a shout coming from somewhere in the bar. That voice was... Check the time! Time? Bill looked at his barman. 40 after. It took him a moment to realize what that meant. As if a light bulb had turned on in his head, he remembered that part of the rules, or to be precise, the core rules. At 45 after each hour, all players present in the Golden Jack will have to participate in the council. Which meant that there were 5 minutes left. If they didn't carry it out, they would break the rules, resulting in... Just as he did, the device started beeping. An alarm. Quickly he rushed to the center of the bar, expecting to find everyone there. The rest had the same thought. As upon arriving, half of them were already there. Hey, Billy! The young woman waved her hand. She had been the one shouting earlier. It seemed weird to him that, of all the people, she was the one to notice that they were had to move. Or at least the first one to warn everyone. If someone forgot the rules and didn't join the council, their fate would be sealed. It was good to see that at least one person there seemed to care for everyone's well-being. As soon as someone decided to play seriously, trying to win, everything would change. That calm before the storm, the game still in its early stage, they had to familiarize themselves with it as fast as possible and prepare for the worst. Only a few minutes left. If we got a debate, we need to look for a suitable place. Being together isn't good enough? What are you going to debate, even? We still don't have much information, but we need to fulfill Rule 3 to survive. Someone must give out their number. Yeah, well, more like lie about your number. If the lie is proven, the person would have to reveal their real number. They all knew the consequences, but someone had to take that risk so everyone could survive one more hour. Playing the game was out of the question for him. Most likely none of them wanted to seriously do it. And maybe they all would. All but him. He cared for his life, of course, but he would never approve of that sickening game. So as long as he could, he would rebel against it. I think we need to agree on one thing. That was still the beginning of the game. Most, or hopefully all, were still undecided, trying to wrap their heads around the whole situation. For starters, killing wasn't an easy matter for the time being. Only number one could do so directly. The only other way to do it was using the spy role, the objective that actually forced a kill by revealing someone's secret objective. However, according to the explanation of the barman, it wouldn't appear until the 6th hour. So the only way they had to remove someone at that point, to figure out their number and then convince a majority to accuse them, would take time and preparation. Everyone seemed to still be acclimating to the situation and the rules. He had to use that opportunity to create a peaceful deal with everyone, to prolong their lives as much as possible. Enlighten us, Billy Boy. Nobody wants their number revealed, but we need to give one fake number per hour, till we've all done it. So we should pact an order and not point out the other's lies. We need to work together to get past Rule 3 without putting at risk our own number. Everyone there looked around, uncomfortable. At that moment, the rest arrived, Vodka being the last one, moving at his own pace. Come on, Gramps. Yes, you can. Don't force these old gears. Time doesn't wait. No, and in fact, we are almost out of time. What Bill offers would be just, but we will have to talk about it on the council. Oh, where do we sit? Rules don't say anything on that, so I guess it's whatever. How about the counter? A little hard to see each other if we're all lined up. Yeah, one of the tables would be better. Oh, light bulb's on. Let's do it on the table. Trademark. Oh, please, no ads. I'm not paying no matter what extras it has, or if you sell me 2 for the price of 1. I think she just means the big table down the stairs. Sure, seems like a good spot. Although, will it be big enough for all of us? Only one way to find out. One by one, they walked down the steps to the lower part of the bar, gathering around the big table. At seats, they borrowed some nearby chairs and sofas. Ah, that is certainly a table. C'est magnifique. Where did that puff come from? Don't even think about taking it. It's mine. That doesn't answer my question. Unless it's literally yours and you had it hidden somewhere, somehow, but I don't think that's it. You underestimate my power. What? Don't listen to her. We found it lying around here, and she's been craving to use it ever since. And I've brought one of the counter's tall stools for piano. I don't need that. It'd be too tiny with one of those chairs. I'm not tiny. But you want to be taller, right? Silently, he sat on the stool. Seats were being filled. Bill had to decide which to take. Perhaps noticing his indecision, Jin looked at him and pointed at the empty space on the sofa she was sitting in. The offer was too cozy to pass up. She's all right. Once they sat down, everything was ready, just in time. So now what? Excuse me if I'm a tad slow, but I still have barely a clue. Not alone there, Gramps. It was on that moment when the time came. All barmans turned on with a new message. Participation in the council is required until its closure. Close proximity barmans detected. All start requirements cleared. Council menu will be available during its course. This will be repeated in future councils. Oh, okay. Before they could ready themselves, it started. The first council. Oh? Is this the end of the demo? Are we transitioning? Oh, save point. Come on, spit it all out. What exactly? I don't know anything. Not anything. According to the rules, we must debate using the data we have obtained. One person must fulfill Rule 3. I believe that last part should take priority. Anyone willing? Like I said before. Yes, we should consider Bill's proposal. After that, someone is willing to tell us the data they have received. About that, I think data should be kept secret for now, to protect everyone's numbers. But then we can't play the game. Yes. I don't want to, but if we don't, we all die. We can avoid it for now, but sooner or later, someone will. Okay, let's calm down. We'll talk about that later, alright? Let's start with Rule 3. Excuse this interruption on this momentous occasion, but it is needed. Who am I, you ask? Just say I'm a voice in your head, one that not even the rule known as billiards can hear. Only you. Don't mistake me for a mere narrator either. Instructions can wait. Before proceeding, an explanation about what's about to happen is essential. The first council is about to start. How exciting. During a council, your dominion over time will be restricted. In other words, its flow will advance without your consent. Make sure to pay attention. Do not miss a single phrase. Lucky for you, not all is outside your grasp. Adjust the word speed on your menu. The challenge is too great. It's even possible to raise it to its maximum value for a special challenge. I would advise you not to go. Do not go to either of those two extremes. Medium speed is ideal. Next to saves, loads, and the backlog will also be lost. Oh! Barman will remain at hand. You can check any detail, although not at every instant. During councils, you'll have to make some decisions, as you probably imagine. But these ones will have a greater impact than the ones prior. The only way to see all the possible paths is restarting the council anew. With that, we reach the final key point, your goal during any council, maintaining its tension under control. Tension is a simple concept, barely in need of explanation. Fights, disputes, quarrels, suspense. All those will increase the tension that the rules feel. If it gets too high, remaining in control will be impossible. The only conclusion possible will be failure. If it happens, you have to go back to the start of the council, so you do all you can to keep the tension low. That's where your choices will matter. The choice of words for the rule billiards. There's another way to influence tension, but I will leave that explanation for later, when it becomes relevant. It's time to begin. I would wish you luck, but I do not believe you will need it, this council. And moreover, I am not on your side. I am only a neutral observer. Alright. First council. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. The neon light aesthetic there. Okay, so let's start, Bill. Yes, well, as I said, according to Rule 3, we have to give it a number, 1 per council, until we've all done it. Guessing we can all agree that saying all of them at once isn't a good idea. Make us too vulnerable. So, the most reasonable option is agreeing on an order and swearing to not reveal the other's lies. Now that you mention it, young man, how did this revealing of lies work? It's on the clarification screen. The death of the number's holder, using data and hints. So wait, if someone says they are the number, 2 for example, and the real number 2 comes out, that doesn't count? Not unless they prove it. Right, we can claim to be whatever number we want, but we can't show the screen of our devices. Oh? Barman, it's called Barman. Oh? Showdown? I didn't forget. You say so. Okay, that's interesting. Only irrefutable evidence counts, like in a trial, I guess. So, what do you think? You missed on one important detail. Wonder if it's on purpose. Which? You said we all have to eventually fulfill Rule 3, 1 per hour. Well, I guess in theory, whoever has that rule doesn't. But if they don't, gotcha! I didn't mean that, but it is related. If the individual with Rule 3 dies, that rule disappears and we never have to worry about it again. Well, that would solve a lot of our problems, but we don't want that. Yeah, sure, but... If he says that, he can't be 3. Someone write that down. Woo! Or that's what he wants us to think. Oh no. Or maybe Bill didn't mention this detail because in his head, the possibility of 3 dying is impossible. In other words, he is 3. Uh-oh. Immediately, all attention focused on Bill. He wasn't expecting him to end up in that situation. He didn't know his own number. The data he had received didn't rule out 3. It's possible. Took a deep breath, tried to calm down, and spoke. Can't deny that I could be. As Poker said, only evidence matters. Even if I said that I'm 3, that wouldn't mean anything without evidence to support it. You can make up theories and scrutinize everything others do and say, but it's pointless. I dispute that last part, even if they are not decisive. These details are still valuable enough to note, but I concur with the rest. I was only posing the possibility, nothing more. Yeah, what he said, uh-oh. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Good, obstacle avoided. Back to what I was saying. What do you think? Salutations again. I need to interrupt once more. Consider a good chance to relax for a moment. How's the council going? Alright. No need to answer. I can't hear you. It's time to explain the last council topic, interventions. Sometimes during a council, the scene will be represented visually as a game of pool, also known as billiards, with each player represented by a ball, including billiards himself. Don't panic, it's only an imaginary depiction. When his ball lights up and starts to shake, an opportunity to intervene will present itself. You then decide to change the course of the conversation, be it for the better or the worse. Placing your cursor on top of the ball will let you see what Billiards is thinking. Use that information to predict what he will say if he chimes in, and press it if you decide to take it. Intervening impulsively is risky, but so is hesitation. If you take too long, the shown intervention will disappear. The only way back is starting the council from scratch, thus the same opportunity comes back naturally during the conversation. Otherwise, your authority to speed up time will come in useful. You know what I'm talking about, right? Control over time. Just making sure. Just control the skip. Each chance to intervene can last from just a single phrase to who knows. You have to use your intuition and interpret the flow of the discussion. But don't stress over it too much. There's more than one path to victory, usually. For a perfect performance isn't needed, just make sure to not let the tension build up too much, and sooner or later you'll reach destination, be it favorable or one or not. Being your first time, however, I'll give you one small piece of advice. You would do well in taking the first intervention to come. It will only last for one line, so there will be only a few seconds to take it. Be ready. That is all. With that, my council explanation is complete. Simple, right? And now the reason for his nickname should be obvious. Hope I didn't ruin that mystery too soon for you. Time to go back into the action. Okay, let's see if I got this. Bilbo's idea is that we make a bunch of rock, paper, scissors to decide the order of sacrifices in each council. Oh, yes, except the rock, paper, scissors part you made up. Well, whatevs. Details. Point is, somehow we'll choose an order, and we'll have to promise to keep with it, or a blood oath. Blood oath? I want no part in that. A blood infection is the last thing I need. Oh boy. I also made up. The visual's interesting. Hey, blood oaths aren't made up. They're an important cultural thing somewhere, probably. Respect! Mr. Richard pulled that for your ass. Oh, cigar? Listen, no jokes here. This is serious. We decide an order, and we follow it. No need to overthink it. It's not that complicated. And furthermore, not revealing the other's lies. If you assume that Rule 3 will remain for a while, it's a reasonable proposal. Why would he assume? Screw that. We'll take it. But now let's assume nobody will get eliminated. Nobody? That would be great, but that's hoping too much. Heck, I might have a heart attack at any time. No killer needed. Well, let's assume nothing will happen for a few hours at least. Assumptions are great, except when our lives depend on them. Let's say we do it. 100 people say a number, and then number 3 dies. Most of us get saved, but what about them? They don't get affected by the rule anymore. In the case that Rule 3 disappeared, those who said a number, if it's proven later that they lied, won't have to give their real ones. So there's no consequences. Huh. Oh, right. Now I feel dumb. Good point. Then no problemo, right? There's a very obvious bad way this trial can go. Seem to be getting it now. There's still hope. I like this system. Everyone doing Rule 3 will lie. That's just logic. So even if the rule goes away, those people will still be more vulnerable. Hmm? And why is that? We'd have one less number to suspect them for, because the one they gave would be incorrect. Please, that's obvious, and one more danger when it comes to Rule 3, albeit minor. And what if someone doesn't lie? Oh, duh! If you say your number, everyone will think you lied and won't suspect you. That tactic is way too risky. Now that you said it, everyone will suspect whatever number you say. Oops. Oh, poopy. Number 3 is eliminated. That's a valid strategy. Otherwise, it's suicide. Uh-oh. Tension up. How? Let's say, for example, that number 1 says the real number trying to pass it off as a lie. You accuse him of betraying number 1, being number 1, he'll be eliminated. No kidding. That's why I said it was risky. But according to rule, which was it? 6. 6? Ah, yes, that one. Wait, how did you know which one I meant? Well, Rule 6 says that if a majority fails at accusing someone, the person gets protected. Accusing someone of being the number they just said can take them out if it's true. If they lie, they become immune. I don't think someone looking to kill would accuse without being sure. In fact, the logical assumption is that nobody will tell the truth. There's no point in accusing them. So telling the truth, altogether risky, could save you, at least in the short term. No, it's suicide. Listen, for your own good. Even if there's a chance of lying, even if it's actually a lie, accusing somebody of the number they just gave will lead to their death. Just maybe not right away. Actually, for a while, their survival will be guaranteed. If they're accused and it's incorrect, their lie will be proven. They'll have to reveal their real number. Oh. Rule 6 will protect them for some time. As soon as that rule fails or the majority changes, they'll be the first to go. Silence. No objections. They all knew Jin was right. Without Rule 3, that wouldn't be true. That applies from the moment you give a number, real or false. Nobody would have a reason to do it without Rule 3. So basically, if you say the truth, you can be killed. And if you lie, you'll have it harder to survive later on. It may not guarantee your death, but lying is a way better option than the truth. I can't deny anything you're saying, but you're not helping the mood. Wait a moment. That's only true if a majority accuses the ones who just gave a number. Someone here would really do that right now? Heat raised. Many stares moved around the table, but nobody answered. They had finally reached the core topic of the discussion. Cruelty was urgent, but all of them knew deep down that somebody would fulfill it to avoid death. What was truly important was the game itself. Who would participate, seriously? Who was mentally prepared to kill another human being? Uh-oh. This is it. I have to get through to them somehow. I have to do it. To survive, I will. What a passion for life the young ones have nowadays. A kid his age shouldn't be making a choice like that. It's awful. As much as I hate to admit it, he's right. There's my chance. Our lives should be above those of strangers. Uh-oh. Missed my shot. I hate to say this, but that's the truth. Hello, hello. Truth hurts. Uh-oh. Hello. I'm trying to object, so it's decided. I tried to object. Decided what? You lost me. Are you gonna play? It's the only option now. Thankfully, it's not just one winner. The opportunity to survive without killing exists as you watch others die around you. Without a side, it's basically kill or be killed. Well, that silence, a decision was made. They had to survive. To do that, they had to win. Game had to begin. That end, the game begins. It's clearly a demo ending.